Let's go. All right, get some deadlifts. That was nice. Good comeback there. YouTube, what is up? We are back with another day in the dungeon. Sorry for the radio silence. Coming back from a tooth infection. I'll post my epic picture here. And we were out under some laughing gas for a couple days. So finally got that tooth infection fixed. Hopefully they still want to pull up my wisdom teeth. I'm not about that wisdom teeth life surgery. So I'm gonna hold off on that for a couple weeks, see if it holds up. If that infection comes back, probably gonna have to get those taken out. Might mess up training a little bit. But my God, was my mouth on fire for a while. It was Friday night, the whole thing just felt like I was getting stabbed by a knife. So not ideal, but now it's feeling much better and ready to get after it again. Supposed to be snatching with Welty today, but outside we got about 4 feet of snow. 2 days ago, we had our first outdoor hitting day. It felt amazing. It's like 60 degrees out in Minnesota. It was heaven on earth, and now we got 4 feet of snow. So hopefully it's the last snowfall here in March, but car was not, my little Ford Fusion was not able to make it to Welty. So we're snatching here. We finished up with some sprints and jumps. I'm actually gonna show them here. Last video, I fucking forgot to splice those in. But we had 6 total curve sprints as our acceleration movement problem today. Felt really, really good on those. And then we had 2 fly tank curves just to open up a little bit. We were tracking some balls in the outfield a couple days ago and actually felt pretty quick out there, so that was nice. Good little feel. The speed check, especially with my bum ass, with where I've been with my speed training recently. So it felt good. Get out on the field, get running a little bit, and then get some speed work in today. Then we got high seated box jumps and some quad broad jumps from Blaine. I like the high-seated box jumps because it keeps me out of that deep squatted position that I kind of emphasize when I squat. Welty's all up in my ass about how big my range of motion is on my force plate jump, but just give a little bit different stimulus there. It almost forces me to jump like Welty jumps in that high position. Felt really nice in those. And then those quad jumps, just get a horizontal movement problem in. We got every minute on the minute snatches, and if we got time, we're gonna rip our deadlifts. If we don't have time today to rip our deadlifts, we'll rip them tomorrow. We got climbing with the girl here in like 40-ish minutes. We should have time to get everything, but we'll find out. Let's get after it, let's go. All right, first rep the EMOMs. Been warming up with this bar. This bar does not feel as good as Welty's. This thing feels fucking shitty. It's my first time back with it, kind of pissed about that. Shoulder hasn't been loving it, but hopefully we man the fuck up and rip something out of today and get after it. So let's go, here we go. First step. Ooh. There's one. Starting at 75% today, we went 70, 72.5, 75%. Continue to build that up. This will probably be the heaviest we go before we go to Texas and rip something with Tim Riley, and then we'll probably grab a different set and rep scheme as we go, but this has been pretty fun. So this is probably the heaviest we start with. Keep ripping, we'll go 75%, add 5 kilograms, 5 reps there, add 7.5 kilograms, 5 reps there, and 5 open. Let's rip. Ooh, let's go. Oh. Pull's feeling better as we're starting to warm up. The shoulder's still a little creaky. Hopefully that starts to sort itself out. Let's go. All right, third set here. We got a timer and we got a whiteboard to check it off. Life is good today. Let's go. Ooh. Oh, you. Tried to really power that. A little gross there. One more here. Let's get it. All right, last one here. Let's make it crispy. Oh, there we go. That was better. Oh, God, that shoulder is creaky, though. My goodness. Let's add a little weight. Keep ripping. After like 6 years of buying these Titan Fitness silencer pads, it's starting to finally fall apart, but a very good investment. If you guys need to have something to drop your bar on, you need something to keep it quiet, whatever it is, these are actually pretty good investment from Titan. Some of Titan's Fitness stuff, a little bit sketchy. I bought like weight releases from them, and they shipped like half of the weight releaser, not the full thing, kind of a shit show. But these actually came in, these are super nice. Their Buffalo bar was really nice as well. And I guess so was their silencer, or so was their Cambridge bar. I guess the only thing that I got from them that I didn't like was that weight releaser, because they shipped half of it and never sent me the other half. So, all right, let's get after it. Here we go. Ew. I don't need the jump there. I know I keep saying it, but I think I really need to teach myself how to hook grip, because I feel like without the straps I have, it's not even the grip strength, just like no tension on the bars. It feels super fucking weak. I don't love the feel of that. So maybe I gotta reach out to K-Dot about that. He's probably just gonna tell me to hook grip, but fuck man, I do not like the feel of that. All right, second rep here. Ah, sloppy. Got to dial back in. Let's go. Welty would be ashamed of these right now. I think I'm rushing off the ground a little bit because of that shoulder. I'm scared of that shoulder, so I'm gonna go a little bit slower off the ground, accelerate the bar. Don't just fucking yank off the ground. Let's go. That was better. All right. Cleaning it up a little bit. 2 more there, then I'm gonna hook it up with some straps, see if that helps that shoulder, and see if we can get some weight going today. Feeling pretty good. Cool thing is, like a year ago, this used to be my max, and now we're ripping it for a pretty easy set of 5. Even on a super sloppy shoulder buggy day. I bench pressed yesterday, and I think the shoulder's a little fatigued from that. Doesn't really love it. All right, let's go, another rep. Ooh. Gosh dang, slow today. That was better. Nice, let's go. Add some weight, let's go. First weight of this, let's go. Ooh, there we go. Hey. All right, second rep here, let's go. Ooh. Woo. Oh, that felt nice. Let's go. Rep number 4 here. Feeling pretty clean. Let's go. Ooh. Woo. One more. I feel like pretty twitchy right now with the hips, and my shoulders could fucking hold on to that. We might be able to turn it into something today, but I don't know if that shoulder's gonna love me today. All right, let's get this last one here. Start ripping after. Woo. All right, start adding weight, let's go. So I posted us doing, with Lock had us do some deep tier plyos, and then we did some deep tier plyos last week, so it inevitably triggered like 100 fucking DMs asking about deep tier plyos, why I do them, if I'm all aboard the hype. And I think it's the same as kind of any other movement, right? It's something people don't do, so it's something people suck at, and when you do something that people suck at, there's a lot of low-hanging fruit there. And I think that's really where the magic is. I think the more you get lost in specific exercises, specific systems, the more you miss out on the bigger principle of the picture, which is grab your low-hanging fruit, do the things that you suck at, move variously, and you'll get a lot out of that, rather than continuing to like bash your head against the wall on things that you're already good at, right? So it's not deep tier plyos that are necessarily the best thing in the world. They are a really good exercise, right? There's a lot of good benefits there, but if you start swearing by the deep tier plyos, the same people that make fun of box jumps are doing deep tier plyos and swearing by deep tier plyos, and it's gonna turn into the same lifetime fitness trainers that talk about how box jumps are the key to athleticism, right? Like it's the same kind of thought process. You're getting lost in the exercise selection rather than looking at the principled approach of doing things that you suck at and moving variously. So that's kind of my thought process on deep tier plyos. There's a lot of low-hanging fruit for a lot of athletes to grab there. They're a really good exercise because of it, but it's not necessarily because the deep tier plyo itself or the system around that is the number one thing. It's just because you suck at it, right? And if you're really good at those, you probably need to do other plyometrics and other jumps. And most people just aren't very good at them because it's a newer exercise. It's something that a lot of people haven't done yet, right? So there's a lot of low-hanging fruit for a lot of athletes there. And that's a really good thing. I just think a lot of times we lose sight of that bigger picture approach to why we're doing these things and why we're getting benefits out of these things. And then we always fucking sell courses on the back end of it and swear that we created this system, we created these athletes. It's like we just need to move variously. And the more we get lost in the exercise selection, the less we see the bigger picture and the less we create better athletes. So, all right, let's get after this, let's go. Oh yeah, that felt really good. Woo! Second open set here, let's go. Woo! Woo! Feeling good. Keep it buttery, let's go. Ooh. Woo! Let's go. I'm liking the timing, but I think I can start with a little bit more speed off the ground and then continue to accelerate. I think I'm going a little too slow off the ground. I don't know. The timing feels really nice right now though. So let's get this. Here we go. Number 4. Oh yeah, let's go. Woo! All right, last rep of the 20. Then we're gonna go get ourselves some dessert and then deadlift after. Let's go. Woo! Woo! Let's go. A little spicy today. Let's get it. All right, that was by far the most casual 225 I've ever ripped, so that was pretty sick. Turning our old maxes into something we can just rip on a shitty day. Now let's get some dessert. Here we go. Oh, that was sick. I was not used to that pop. Fuck. Fuck. Let's try that one more time. Here we go. Ah, man, gotta get fired up. Holy shit, we're struggling right now. This should not be that hard. Woo! Woo! Let's go. All right, get some deadlifts. That was nice. Good comeback there. All right, that was a good little comeback on those cleans, especially for how I was feeling going in to hit 230 today. Pretty solid. And ripping those EMOMs 20 for 20 is nice. There's a big breakthrough coming. Once I get that fucking catch figured out and my shoulder strengthens up a little bit, we'll be fucking solid. So we're gonna hit some snatch deadlifts here. Sets of 5 rep max, and we're gonna hit the 85% 12 rep giant set after that. Ripping a little Haas for us. Here we go. All right, so I ranted about this Monday, but I forgot to plug in my fucking little microphone cord to the camera. So we're gonna have a condensed workout posted on Monday with those cleans. I had a 315 hang clean, which was the first time doing that. That was pretty sickening. But I wasted about 2 hours of talking content without plugging that microphone in. So stupid. I got the typical question from an athlete asking about like how to program and what do you value in the weight room? And it was kind of based around this question around that I started only lifting now. Is only lifting more important than other stuff in the weight room? Is only lifting gonna make me a better athlete? Like all of these questions that we have about the weight room. And kind of the blunt fact of the matter is only lifts still kind of don't matter. Even though I'm doing them, even though I find a massive benefit to them, even though I'm getting a ton of stimulus in, I still do at my heart believe that you can train in the weight room without ever touching only lifts and become a phenomenal athlete. I honestly think Will would honestly agree with that too. That doesn't mean these aren't more optimal. It doesn't mean they don't save time, which I think they do. But honestly, the reason I do Ollie's right now has nothing to do with I unlocked some deep secret about Ollie liftings that's gonna help me on the softball field, right? Is that I've been enjoying them, right? They make me show up, and it created a little side quest for my ADHD brain to go pursue in the weight room. So I show up every day with intent, with something to chase, right? And that's really how I believe you should like program and train as an athlete. Pick a KPI or a side quest or a pursuit that you feel like matters to you, because if it matters to you, you're gonna show up and give intent. Whether that's sprinting, lock-in, workhorse training, did an amazing job of doing that with his speed training. I've had it with my dunk journey, I've had it with my backflip journey, I've had it with now Ollie lifts, right? These are all side quests that make me show up to the weight room and train really, really hard. And these side quests have potent stimuluses to them, whatever that stimulus is, whatever that side quest is, right? As long as that side quest forces you to train hard to accomplish it, you're gonna get a ton out of it. Again, whether that's speed training, whether that's jump training, whether that's Ollie training, it doesn't really matter what that side quest is. There is no magic bullet there. And the real beauty from these side quests comes from finding your rate limiting factors during these side quests. So as I started to snatch, I found out my overhead mobility is shit, my shoulders are a little tough. My pulling strength is fucking bum ass. And if I wanna get better at the KPI, the thing that matters to me in the moment, in the weight room, and at that side quest, if I wanna pursue that side quest, I gotta bring up those rate limiting factors. And what that does is grow your general physical preparedness, this massive base of your pyramid that you can then funnel into your sport specific tasks, right? And when I wasn't only lifting and I was dunking, I pursued it in the vertical jump gain, right? And I got a ton of gains there. Now, when I was pursuing the backflip journey, I got a ton of mobility gains and just body awareness gains, right? And those previous side quests are why I can hop into this Ollie side quest and pick things up decently quickly, right? Like I'm not obviously not a world-class Olympic lifter, but the totals that we're putting up happened pretty quickly, and we gained a lot from that because we already had this general physical preparedness from pursuing these other side quests. So when you're thinking about like what matters in the weight room as an athlete, man, I struggle to say like any of this specifically matters in that sense. What matters is you show up and you pursue something to your full intent. And when you pursue that thing, you bring up your rate limiting factors, you bring up the things that you suck at. And when you get better at things you suck at, you get better at a lot of things, right? And if you don't have a side quest, if you don't have a main thing you're pursuing, a lot of times it's really hard to go do those things that you suck at just for funsies, right? So I think it goes back to the principle of pursuing those extremes and letting those extremes expand this general physical preparedness, expand that base of your pyramid to where it's here, you pursue the speed thing, right? So now your general physical preparedness is all the way pulled out here, and then you pull out the strength thing, and then you pull out the vertical thing, and then you pull out the Olympic lifting thing, and then by the end of it, you have this massive circle or base to stand on, and you can kind of funnel that into all these other things, and you'll lose extremes while you're doing this. So as I'm getting better at Ollie lifts and I'm sprinting less or I'm doing backflips less, I'll lose a little bit of that mobility. I'll lose that little bit of that body awareness. But that tiny bit of shrinkage here that I already expanded is being made up for this massive expansion over here. And this massive expansion over here, when I get sick of this side quest, I can then go plug and play back into these other side quests, right? So I think we need to approach it a little bit more in this holistic sense, as cringe of a word as that is, but in a holistic sense, not just pursuing everything at once. Pursue these extremes, pursue the things that get you showing up to the weight room, pursue the thing that in the moment that you're super interested in, expand those extremes, and then either go retest that side quest if you're super interested in continually pursuing that side quest and then find more rate limiting factors to continue to expand that, or then go pick another side quest that can, again, expand that barrier. And I think Blaine does a really nice job of this as well. We're on the podcast, we were talking about like the 7 different programs he has ran and 7 different extremes that he has tried and the science experiments that he's ran on himself. But at the end of the day, if you're getting that stimulus in and you're training hard, you're gonna get really, really good results. And when you have this massive general physical preparedness, you have this massive foundation, it's much easier to funnel into the things, to that 1% of things that you actually wanna pursue. And for me, that's softball right now, right? So again, I highly value the Ole lifts. I think there's a massive bang for your buck. I think there's a lot of really, really good things I'm getting out of them. But it's not necessarily that the Ole lifts specifically are gonna make me a better athlete. I pursued Ole lifts for a long time and I was a terrible athlete when I was pursuing them because I was only pursuing that one singular extreme and was leaving my rest of my base all the way here. And I think the more that you can expand some of these other things while you're pursuing certain side quests, the better, and the more you're gonna find that your body's able to funnel that into the things that you want to funnel it into, and you can become a really adaptable athlete, right? So just a little rant there. To clean up programming as an athlete, pick a pursuit, pick a side quest, pick an extreme that you want to go pursue. Find your rate limiting factors, bring up those rate limiting factors. For me, it's like overhead mobility, so we're doing a lot of overhead squats. It's catching that clean and that leg drive after the catching and clean, so we're doing a lot of front pin squats. It's pulling off the ground in that snatch position because my deadlift's ass, right? Like, so we're building all these things up. Those are my rate limiting factors. We'll build those up. We'll go back into our side quest, test it again, see where those rate limiting factors are, and then continue to expand that as we go. And then while we're doing all this, we're practicing our sport above everything else and doing the same thing with the sport, finding our rate limiting factor in the sport. And the more that you can combine your rate limiting factor in your sport with the rate limiting factor of your side quests in the weight room, I believe the better. For a lot of athletes, that gets pretty draining. For myself, that gets pretty draining. I don't think you need to get that specific unless you're an Olympian, unless you're a 1%er or a 1%er. I think if you just stay general and bring up different rate limiting factors, you're just gonna become a more adaptable athlete. You're gonna feel really good about yourself and really confident on the field. And I think that confidence plays a key in your performance. All right, so let's get this 5 rep max, let's go. Oof. 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 Woo. Let's go. And the last little thing on that programming rant, while you're pursuing those extremes, I still think it's important to touch on your other qualities. General movement patterns, crawling, bending the spine, benching, sprints, jumps, plyos, right? Like all these things are like the salad to your meat and potatoes. They're the fruit, they're the veggies to your carnivore diet, right? They're the things that keep you away from getting diabetes from just eating steak and potatoes the entire time, right? Steak and potatoes are your main side quests. They're your main lifts. They're heavy things. They're the cool things, right? And I think the salad, the fruit, the micronutrients, if you want to put it that way, come from all the functional training, come from the crawls, come from the spinal flows, come from the side bending, come from just anything that's not your specific side quest pursuit. And I find powerlifters all the time run into this trap where they only do their big 3 lifts and then a couple accessories that drive these big 3 lifts, and they nos it and they get a lot of good results right away, but eventually they break, eventually they get burnt out, eventually they start feeling like shit. And it's because they're giving themselves diabetes from only eating that steak and potatoes and not giving themselves any of the micronutrients of these other movement patterns. Just either keep you healthy or just keep you feeling good. And I think the more general you can keep some of that other stuff, the better and faster you're gonna be able to get these side pursuits. And I probably need to do a better job of continuing recording that stuff. I just have been doing it in the morning with my athletes and throughout the day, just so I don't have these videos go 70 minutes long. Fuck, when I'm with Welty, those videos end up being 2 hours long because he doesn't stop fucking yapping. In the editing process on that, dude, that is a state that's gonna give me diabetes by itself. So we're still doing all that stuff. We're still doing all the functional stuff, all the different stuff that we're trying. It's just more the micronutrients. It's more the things that keep me healthy so that when I can get to the heavy stuff and the cool stuff that I'm recording, I can feel good and I can get after it. All right, so let's go. Oof. 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 Let's go. Whee. Let's go. 375 for a snatch grip 5. That'd be pretty sickening. Let's get it. Oof. 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 Come on. Oof. Giant set of 12, let's go. All right, set of 12 here. Giant set of 12, dropped 15%. Let's send, here we go. Oof. 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 Come on. Woo, 4 more. Woo. All right, that is the day. I will see you tomorrow. Keep chopping wood.